Though the winter has receded and spring is well upon the land, there is still a sharp chill of the night's air. Even with the window shut, the wind still manages to slip through the cracks, making the candle flame waver. Neither Giselle nor I say much of anything. But nevertheless, when she does speak, the sound of her voice, soft and pleasant, relaxes my nerves. The faint sound of her breathing reminds me I'm not alone, that she's there, always watching over me. When the candle is about half gone, the door swings open. It's Mell. Sorry it took so long. What did you want to talk about? You didn't bring anyone with you. No, I didn't. Who do you think I would bring? No one. I was just checking. Now, I'll get straight to the point. You're afflicted with a great deal of remorse, are you not, Mell? Pardon? I know what you're doing, what you're involved in. I know the girl at the top of the observation tower very, very well. Her name is Morgana, and you have her imprisoned in the tower. The door requires 3 keys to open, of which you possess 1. It's not saying anything. You need her for her miracle blood. How? I came here to stop you. How do you know any of that? It's not possible. She couldn't have told anyone. Oh, magic, dude. Did one of them tell you? No, it wasn't them. I was told of this by Morgana herself. How could she? What I'm about to tell you is going to seem impossible, but every word of it is true. You seriously gonna tell him everything? Lag, what the? Okay. I'm not from this time. Many, many years after her death, Morgana's soul told me what happened to her. What are you even talking about? She's still alive. For now. You're not from this time? What? Are you mad? Can you come up with any other explanation for how I would know everything I know? There's a single window in the room atop of the tower. A small insignificant thing that sits high upon the wall, and entirely useless for communicating with the outside world. In 3 days' time during the Harvest Festival, Morgana will die. And I must prevent that from happening. Prevent it? To do that, I need your key. Will you give it to me? There you go, talking nonsense again. You know, I warned you not to kick up any dust for your own sake. But I guess that didn't get through, huh? Don't go call Joseph and Yukimasa, please. I don't care who you are or where you came from. All that matters is that you intend to stand in our way. What did you think I was just... What, did you think I was just a helpless little boy? That you could take my key without any trouble? Well, you'd be right about that. If it was only me stealing my key and setting her free would be a trivial matter. But it's not only me. And the other two, they won't hesitate to kill you. Your life, anyone's life, means nothing to them. You don't know what they're like, how terrifying they can be. They're killers. I'll tell them everything you told me. Oh God. I'll tell them you know our secret. And don't come crying to me when they come for you. I warned you. Is that what you want? Will you find comfort you seek by bringing their devoted little slave, by being their devoted little slave and keeping Morgana imprisoned in that tower? What else can I? If you feel at all ashamed about your part in this, if you want to do something to correct it, then you need to take that step. You can't fix this problem on your own, no. But I'm here to help. I'm not ashamed about anything. Don't lie to yourself. Don't act like you know how I feel. What the hell is your deal anyways? You show up out of nowhere, spouting all this "I'll save you" and "I'm here to help" rubbish. You need to do this for your sister. See, now that's ridiculous. If I wash my hands of this, I won't have access to the witch's blood anymore. And without that, Nellie can't get better. She'll die without that blood. Her blood has no miraculous healing power. You only believe it does, making it appear to work. You're mad. No, placebo effect. Morgana's blood is not curing Nellie. In fact, it may very well be killing her. If you keep giving her that blood, Nellie will also lose her life during the Harvest Festival. What? You're not standing on the... Wait, what? The precipice of a horrific tragedy. And if you're going to take anyone down with you if you don't use words. You're standing on the precipice of a horrific tragedy, and if you're going to take everyone down with you if you don't turn back right now. What are you? All three of you are going to lose everything on the day of the festival. And there's only one way to prevent that. You have to set Morgana free. You're insane if you think I would believe that. Nellie's going to die. Could you not have told a more mean-spirited lie? You're the one who's trying to kill her. I'm just trying to save her. And you're going about that entirely the wrong way. Do you have any idea how lonely your sister is right now? You should be at her side. That's what you should be doing instead of stealing a poor girl's blood. I heard enough. What do you know? If I lose Nellie, I have no one. My whole world will collapse. This was the only way I could keep that from happening. This was my best option, my only option. So no, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep Morgana locked up, and I'm going to keep stealing her blood. And I'll hand you over to the other two. I'll have them kill you. You'll regret ever showing your face. Oh, wait, she's here? Damn! She heard everything. Mell, is that really true? What? Do you really have the Saintess locked up? What? What are you? What are you doing here, Nelly? That man told me I had to talk to you. And he said if I didn't have the courage to do it myself, to wait outside his room tonight, because he was going to get the truth from you. Oh, she actually came. You conniving son of a... You were planning this all along. Why? Why would you tell Nelly? Why would you bring her, of all people, into this? Mell. Yeah. Tell me, Mell, is it true? Nelly, are you really keeping the Saint's prisoner and stealing her blood? No. And you said you would have him killed. I never thought you were such a horrible person, Mell. I can't believe you would do such a despicable thing. No, you're not my brother anymore. Oh, god damn. Nelly! Michelle, go after her. Uh-huh. Oh, should I save on this? Yes. Because I'm not gonna need it again. Okay. Go after Nelly. Let's see what happens. We have to stop her, bring her back. Something bad could happen if you don't. Nelly! Don't follow me, just go away. Leave me alone. Stop. If you run away from him now, Mell will never come back from this. Then why did you tell me? Why did you tell me what he was doing? If you hadn't said anything, everything would still be fine. We wouldn't be in this horrible mess. If you hadn't said anything, I could have kept on believing in him. No, things wouldn't be fine. Why can you not see that? You shouldn't put your faith in your ideal brother, but your real one, the boy that's in that room stricken with regret. If I hadn't said anything, the facade would have ruined both of you sooner or later. No, in truth, your relationship was already broken. Oh. You were simply ignoring the spreading cracks. I know, on some level, you have realized that Mell was keeping something incredibly important from you. And that secret was tearing you apart. There's nothing good about this, though. Now we will never go back to the way we were. We can never go back to what it was like when we were kids. Just the two of us playing together every day, having fun. Everyone's childhood comes to an end. The flow of time is impartial. You cannot fight it. What you can do, what only you can do, is choose how you change it. How you change. But I will admit, I am the one who opened your wounds, and now I'm putting the responsibility of tending them onto you. It's cruel, I know. But if you don't come to terms with Mell and make him withdraw his participation, even greater suffering awaits you far in the future. It's not over yet, and you cannot let this be where it ends. The bonds you've formed over the years are not yet broken, and you can do what I was never able to do. You can still repair your relationships. But I'm scared. Scared that my brother, that my Mell, will do such terrible things. that he could say he would kill you. He used to be such a good brother. He was always so kind and so friendly to everyone. But it was all a lie. It was all a big act to fool me. No. It was not all an act. There was truth to it. He is a kind-hearted boy, an ordinary young man, whose kindness was twisted by circumstance. And it doesn't matter how good a person someone is. Everyone has the potential to do terrible things when backed into the corner. Do you think you know everything? I know that much. Nelly, if you want your brother back, you have to act now. Please, you must take action. But I'm scared. What am I supposed to say to him? I don't know. I'll be there with you. You don't have to face this alone. There's more to the story than we have heard. We don't know how he got himself involved in this, and I mean to get the rest of it out of him. And you need to be there to hear it. If, when I hear that what he has to say, I try to say something I shouldn't. If I try to say something that will ruin everything, you'll stop me. You're the one who told me to open my eyes and face him. You're the one who made this whole mess. What am I supposed to do if all of this destroys everything I have? You said you would be my brother, right? So be a good brother and help me out here. Promise me you will make sure nothing goes bad. You'll do that, won't you? I shall just say yes. We won't let this go bad. Have faith in yourself. Faith that you can put their relationship on track to recovering. Promise her. Give her the courage she wants from you. You have nothing to fear. I'll be there for you. I'll help you both. Okay, I'll do it. I'll go back. Thank you, Giselle. Oh, don't mention it. Now let's go see what he has to say for himself. Let's draw back that curtain. Yes, let's. Nelly. Nelly. Mell. What did you come back for? To ridicule me. I'm not the brother you thought I was, not at all what you wanted me to be. It's all over. Everything Michelle said is true. There's a girl imprisoned in a tower. A completely innocent girl. The girl who saved your life, in fact. Go on. Tell me how cruel and terrible and evil I am. I am no prince. Here's an idea. Why don't you make him your new prince? You can do it, Nelly. Ask him. You have your reasons, don't you? You have some reasons for being a part of this, right? A reason? Yeah, I have a reason, alright. I wanted to save your life. I needed her blood to cure you, so I had to lock her up. Tell me the truth. I don't remember much about when the Saintess came to visit, but I do remember a little. I remember her saying she would gladly give whatever she could to the sick and needy, which means you had no need to lock her up. It would seem the tale of Morgana showed me is true. She really was a saint. Yes, she was. Tell me the truth, Mell. Tell me everything. There's nothing to tell. There is, I know it. There's more to a story than just the facts. The things you taught, the things you felt, are all pieces that combine to make the whole story. Isn't that right, Michelle? You're exactly right. If you hadn't said anything, we could have gone on with our lives as normal. No, Mell, we couldn't have. I thought so too at first, but it's not true. Our normal lives ended long ago. Tell me the truth, Mell. No matter what it is, I can't handle it. No, Nellie, you can't. A girl like you who dreamed of becoming a princess couldn't possibly bear to see how hideous her brother has become. How can I know if you don't say anything, though? That's how it's always been with us. You were nice to me, and that was all I needed. I never looked beyond the surface. I made you into my ideal brother, and I latched onto that image of you. You're a kind person, Mell, you really are. So kind you play along with my fantasy that you were a prince. But you don't have to act for me anymore. I want to know the real you. I'm all done being a princess. I'm just a little sister now, nothing more. Your one and only little sister, Mell. You need to do this, Mell. You need to tell her your story. Until you do, we have no way of understanding what you've been through, what you're going through. No way. If I tell you, you lose any hope you had in me left. You had love in me. As Nellie has, you need to realize, you need to release yourself from your own ideal fantasy, Mell. You have someone right here who's willing to accept you for who you are. I know good and well just how hard it can be to have someone dare to see a side of you that you didn't want to show them. I think you want to get off your get it off your chest, though. I think you want forgiveness. Fantasies are not everlasting. They'll crumble eventually. Show us the real Mell. Tell us your story without embellishments or omniscience. Mell. Okay. I'll tell you. Not like I have any other options. Nellie, if at any point you can't bear to hear it anymore, so be it. You're free to leave whenever you like. I won't go anywhere. I can almost guarantee you. I pray that ends up being true. Alright, here it goes. The whole story from start to finish of how I ended up in this mess. we go. Story arc, let's go. Until around the time I turned 17, my life was mostly uneventful. On days when it was nice out, I would take walks around the house grounds, sometimes napping beneath a tree. It was picturesque. And you were always there with me. You have the same flax-colored hair as me, but yours always seemed to glisten in the sun, whereas mine is flat and dull. You shone like a tiny little dancing sun. At the time I assumed that was how life would always be. I genuinely wanted to be. Following my 17th birthday, though, I was met with a deluge of changes. First, father fell ill and passed away shortly thereafter. With his death came the question of who would be the next head. As the oldest son, normally it would fall on me to take his place. I was 17, by all means enough of an adult to handle things by myself. Or, well, that's what I thought anyways. Nobody else did, though. After the discussions I had no part in, it was decided that my uncle would be the next head. That they weren't confident I had the spine to do the job properly. I wasn't sure what to think. Part of me wanted to know why nobody bothered talking to me, and part of me was relieved. Somewhere inside I knew I didn't have what it took. So I was more than happy to let someone else take that responsibility. If it meant I could go on with my quiet life, I didn't care who they picked. My uncle, though, seemed to have caught on to my apathy, which he did not take kindly to. And in response, he formally disowned me. You're not the only one who still has some growing up to do, Nelly. I was quite the adult I thought I was either. I wasn't quite the adult I thought I was either. Fortunately, if you want to call it fortune, I was given enough money to live on a decent length of time, as well as a place to stay. It was a small house, far from home, his way of making it hard for me to come back. Not that I had any intentions of returning. But the best thing to come out of it all was you coming with me, Nelly. So this is our new home, dearest Mell. Yep, so it is. It's amazing how little there is. No big yards, no painting, no vase filled with colorful flowers, no silver bowls filled with fresh picked fruits. But there is you and me. There is you and me, Nelly, saying that. You're not going to go and say you want to return home in a couple of months when you realize life isn't as luxurious here as it was back there, are you? There's only one thing in the whole wide world I really need. Oh? Honestly, I can't live without shiny shoes and pretty dresses like mother wears. I don't need composers to come and write me songs for my birthday. As long as I have one thing that matters most to me, I can do without anything else. Are you saying? I'm happy as I ever been, Mel. I don't need all that fancy, expensive stuff. We may not have a huge yard, but the sun shines everywhere. Flowers can grow even without a gardener tending to them. Nelly, I will do whatever I can for you, dearest Mel. Are you hungry? I'm hungry. Oh, yeah, a bit. Right, I'll make something then. I'll start up with some fruit jams and then maybe make a pie out of it. What else sounds good? I'm craving cookies. You got quite a sweet tooth. You're going to make yourself sick like that. Don't joke about that. That's the first smile I've seen since we got here. Well, that can't be right. I'm sure I've been smiling. Nope, you've been frowning all day. Whatever you say. Forget about all that stuff at home. We got each other, we can do this. Who cares that we're not rich anymore? We'll figure things out in no time. And then we have even more fun than we did back there. Yeah, you're right. It all worked out, dearest Mel. I'll always be there for you. You've got yourself an adorable little princess. What more could you possibly need? Water, food, oxygen. Cheer up. Thanks. I'm really glad you decided to come with me. Oh, did you think for a second I wouldn't? I'm your princess, dearest Mel. And princesses belong with the prince, so no. I suppose so. Until that day, I have never known how good it felt to have someone who wanted to be in their lives. Who wanted me in their lives. Who saw me for me. I realized for the first time how blessed I had been. I had always been. I was hardly prince material. I wasn't strong or handsome or regal enough for that. But Nelly calling me her prince gave me the illusion of being worth something. It made me feel like I could keep on being that richly blessed young man, even this far away home. Even this far away from home. While I had been given some money, my supply was far from infinite. I knew I would eventually have to find some kind of work, some way to support myself and Nelly. But to be quite honest, I couldn't gather the motivation to do much of anything. My whole life had changed so abruptly, so dramatically, that my mind just wasn't able to keep up. It had knocked me on my backside, and I didn't have the strength to get back up. I couldn't tell Nelly that, of course, so this is what I said instead. I'm staying home because I want to be with you as much as possible. And she happily took me at my word. Our new life together was quiet and unremarkable. Even so, it was still a constant stream of new experiences for the two of us, having been pampered our entire lives. Welcome home, dearest Mel. What did you buy today? I got a chicken. Nice. Wow, I've never seen one so up close before. Are we going to keep it as a pet? No. I was planning on using it for supper. Why, you're going to cook it? Nah, breeding it will be better because then you could have, well, whatever. That's the idea. You like chicken dough, don't you? Steam especially, if I remember right. Yes, but but it's all covered in feathers and flapping about. How are we supposed to cook it? Kill it? If I remember, the guy said you have to pluck its feathers, then cut off its head and drain all the blood in a bucket. And then remove the organs, and it's called dressing. You know absolutely nothing in a million years. You do it, Mel. Well, I've never done this before. I have. It was traumatizing, but I still did it. Well, I'm not, so you do it. Alright. I'll bring it to the... Not inside, do it outside. Okay. I never had to slaughter a chicken before. The chef back at home always took care of it. God, I hope I don't screw this up. Well, I'm not going to accomplish anything if I just sit there worrying. I just gotta give it my best shot. Oh please don't put up a fight. It's gonna put up a fight if you don't tie his legs. I can't watch. On the count of 3, okay? The count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Act. Wait. Come back. It's gone. What happened? Did it fly away? A chicken can't fly. At first I was just fumbling about in the dark, constantly messing up everything I tried. But in time I started getting more comfortable with the things I had stopped the things and I stopped pinning for my old life. For the longest time I couldn't shake the memory of the fact that I had once been a noble. I was constantly wondering how I had ended up here, why this was happening to me. Nellie had seemed to have adjusted fairly quickly, but I wasn't faring so well. I was surprised, honestly. I figured if anyone was going to have an issue with our new lifestyle, it was going to be her, not me. Back home, Nellie had tended to be a bit of a princess. She was frequently harsh with Abigail, scolding them for the smallest of things. There were times, though, she might be biting her tongue for my sake. But every time it crossed my mind, she would say, "I've got you, dearest Mell, everything is just fine." And it was those words that kept me going. Oh, dearest Mell, I had the most wonderful idea. Would you like to hear it? Sure, what's your idea? We should go... Wait. We should get married. What? Oh, wait, what? I skipped something. Hold on. Well, you can't be serious. As serious to get. I mean, we're basically married already in everything but name. We can't do that. We're siblings. Nobody here needs to know that. Yeah. They hang guess from our hair and our eye color, though. I don't think we look that much alike. Anyways, whatever gave you that idea? If we get married, then we could be together forever. We can't do that just as well as brother and sister. It's not the same, though. No one's ever going to say two siblings live happily ever after. I want to be with you for the rest of my life, dearest Mell. And the best way to do that is to get married. You did not know, but Nellie... What are you so hesitant for? What are you so hesitant for? Is there someone you pine for? Yeah, no, but... There is no problem. Then there's no problem. We're blood-related siblings, Nelly. Does she realize that getting married means eventually having children and everything that leads up to that? Does that go against the teaching of the Lord? Yes. No, she's still just a kid chasing after a fairy tale ending. She doesn't understand the reality of what she's saying. Sometimes I'm not even sure what to do with you, Nelly. So you'll marry me? No. But right now I know you need God's word. But right now I know you need God's word. Starting tonight you're getting your own private sermon every night, understand? Bleh. You need God. My instruction was as much for my own sake as it was for Nellie's. I'm not gonna lie. The thought did cross my mind that her proposition might not be so bad. Wait. For one, I couldn't imagine spending the rest of my life with anyone else, and it had been her smile that kept me going when things got difficult. But I knew that it was a sin, and I didn't think I would be able to live with myself if I crossed that line. So night after night I taught her, reminded her that we were brother and sister, and that we didn't have to be anything more for her to be the most important person in the world to me. And after about our third month away from home, that life began crumbling. Nellie woke up one day with a high fever that refused to break. At first I thought it was just a cold that she would be over it soon enough. But as much as I tried to convince myself, oh, she'll be better tomorrow, she just kept getting worse, until eventually she couldn't even get out of bed. Oh god. She had visibly lost weight, and I never heard her voice so weak and I know that word, lethargic, before. I know that word, pronunciation. Is there anything you'd like me to get you, Nellie? All I want is you to be there with me, Mell. You really should eat something. I'll make something you like. How about a nice expensive chicken? If you kill it this time. The last one got away, but I won't let that happen this time. I'm not really in the mood for anything too heavy. Oh, okay. Don't you worry, Mell. I'll be better before you know it. Yeah, you will. You'll be just fine. Everything is going to go back to normal. Watching Nellie grow weaker every day scared the hell out of me. I desperately did not want to lose her. If I lost her, then who would be left that wanted me? Who would tell me I was worth something? Who would say nice things about me? Who would be there with me every day? Just when I had started feeling optimistic about this new life, I started to feel comfortable in it. It was looking like it might fall apart again. I searched everywhere for some medicine that could cure her. Healthy fruits, vegetables with supposed medicinal properties. Anything I could get my hands on. I prayed. And Nellie, you were overjoyed. You were thrilled that I would go to such a lengths for you. But the reality is, I was really doing it for myself. But as much as I searched, I couldn't find anything that worked, and I started to panic. I would go to bed at night, afraid that I'll wake up the next morning and Nellie wouldn't. I was already grasping at straws, and I was already trying anything that had... Wait, what? And I was ready to try anything that had been the slightest chance of curing her. And then one day I heard whispers. Whispers of a witch who lived by the lake. Ah. They said she was a recluse, that she hardly ever left her house, and that she had been down to the city. She hadn't been down to the city in years. They told me she might have some medicinal herbs that could help, so I rushed down to the lake to see her. Sitting by the shore was a small cottage, even less luxurious than where Nellie and I were living at the time. Seeing the thin trails of smoke rising from the chimney, I was convinced the rumors were true. A witch lived in that house. I wasn't sure what to expect, being a recluse. I figured she wasn't going to be very sociable, at least. To tell you the truth, I was kind of scared to knock on the door. But I had exhausted all of my other options, so I clenched my teeth and gave the door 2 firm raps. Who's there? The sound of her voice caught me off guard, and all I could do was stare at the door with a knot in my throat. Based on the information I had assumed I was going to find a wrinkly old woman, but the voice was of a young girl. And even though she only said 2 words, there was something indescribably enchanting about that voice. I could listen to her talk for hours on end in some kind of strange hypnotic trance. Everybody wants Morgana, good God. It was almost like magic, for lack of a better word. I stood there dumbfounded, like my soul had been sucked from my body. Who's there? She repeated her question, which brought me back to reality. Though I still had to fight to maintain my wits enough to respond coherently. My sister had fallen very ill, and she desperately needs medicine. I was told that the person who lives here is a skilled herbalist. Could I please get something to treat her? What are her symptoms? She got an extremely high fever that won't come down. She has no appetite, she's only drinking water, and she can't get out of bed. We're going to want to lower her fever first. After that, get her on a nutritional diet. I'm going to give you 2 medications. Give her the first while she has a high fever, and the second when it comes down. Thank you very much. Her voice wasn't bright and energetic like Nellie's. It was more restrained, somber, and quiet, yet simultaneously clear and sharp. The sound tickled my curiosity. I wanted to know what she looked like. Me too. I wanted to know what kind of girl stood on the other side of the door. With a voice that pretty, she must be equally lovely, I thought. So you're simping for someone else than your sister, Mell. And I had to see it for myself. And my wish didn't fall on deaf ears. When she opened the door to hand me the herbal medicine and take my money, we're gonna see Morgana. Her head peeked out between the cracks ever so slightly. I said I want to tell you everything. I said I would tell you everything exactly as it happened, so I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. It was unsettling. It was nothing like I had imagined from her voice. Right, her skin had, like, stuff, cuts. Her skin had, I guess, fallen off or something, because you could see the raw red flesh beneath. To say it was hard to look at would be an understatement. Most of her face was covered by a black hood, so all I could see was her mouth and chin. But even that was harrowing. But the last thing I wanted to do was look away. For all I knew, that was why she had become a recluse. And I couldn't let myself hurt her, so I suppressed my own disgust and put on my best smile. People often tell me I have a very pleasant, admirable smile. So I figured I could use that to prevent her from picking up on what actually was going through my mind. And when she saw my face, the look of surprise seemed to cross hers. Now we get to see both sides of the stories. The witch's herbs did indeed seem to help some. Going to visit her was better than talking to any of the local doctors. Nonetheless, Nellie hadn't been cured. She was only feeling a little bit better. So I kept paying the witch visits, kept purchasing more herbs from her. And every time I went to that cottage, I heard her sweet voice. I imagined how much sweeter it would sound without the door obstructing it. Even knowing what she looked like didn't stop the curiosity from growing within me. From what I gathered, talking to her, there wasn't much of an age difference between us either. She was 16, I was 17. And I'm sure you know how it is when you meet someone around your age. You feel a sort of sense of kinship. This girl I had originally believed to be some kind of otherworldly witch was starting to feel like a regular person to me. Through our conversation, I managed to learn her name, as well as the fact that she had come here from a faraway country. We were both a long way from home. Thinking she might open up even more to someone who's been through a similar experience, I decided to try inviting her to go on a walk with me. It's not healthy to stay holed up inside all the time. You got this beautiful lake right here. What do you say we take a little walk around the shoreline? To my surprise, she accepted. Morgana, Great weather, isn't it? I love the way the sun reflects off of the surface of the lake. It's gorgeous. This is Morgana. Are you okay? I'm in disbelief, to tell you the truth. What for? You've seen my face. You know how hideous I am, and yet you still invited me on a walk. You're a very particular person. Is it really that strange? I mean, we're almost the same age, so I figure we might make pretty good friends. You want to make friends with me? Well, sure, we've been through a lot of the same things, so we can understand each other better than most. Understand each other? Yeah, we're both young, we've been through some rough times. I'm going to be blunt with you. I have not been through anything like I have. You have not been through anything like I have. Yep, no. If you had experienced the things I have, you wouldn't be smiling right now. I haven't known you long, but I don't need to. Wait, what? I haven't known you long, but I don't need to have in order to know how unequivocally disfamiliar we are. That we were cut from the very same cloth. Well, yeah, we're people. We're not made of cloth, so... That's not what that means, you know. Oh. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be so harsh. In fact, I would say that you're much better off not being in my position. It sounds like you've been through a lot. If you don't mind me asking, what happened to you? I'll be happy to lend an ear. It might make you feel better to get it off your chest. And that is what's so different about us. Huh? I will not tell you about myself, no. That said, I do appreciate the concern. Thank you. Sure, you're welcome. She's not very open with people, huh? Though I guess that's only to be expected. She hadn't spent much time around other people looking the way she does. I wonder if there's anything I could do for her. At least get her to show a little bit of emotion. Say, if it's not too much to ask, do you think we could maybe do this again sometime? Don't expect me to lower my prices. I'm not trying to squeeze a better deal out of you. I just want to get to know you better. Nothing more to it, no ulterior motive, I promise. Did you forget I already said I won't be telling you about myself? Alright then, it doesn't have to be about you. We can talk about anything, whatever you want. Do you have a favorite food? Any hobbies? Nothing in particular. Well, that was a fruitful conversation. Okay, crap. I have no interest or taste worth mentioning, so if you want to talk, I suppose that leaves you to be the subject. Me? Tell me about yourself. My life's not all that exciting. Anything I had to tell you would probably just bore you. I'm not looking for excitement. Oh, okay. Well, alright then. I guess I could tell you about myself. So yeah, I'm pretty useless in the family. I got kicked out by my uncle and had to forced to be in the same cottage as a crazy sister who wanted to marry me. Yeah, that's it basically. And so I did. I told her about my family situation and I told her about Nellie. And actually was pretty much all I had to talk about. For the most part, she hardly even reacted to anything I said, so it was difficult to tell if she was listening or not. But she would urge me to continue whenever I go quiet for more than a few moments, so I suppose she was listening. Every time it came to purchase more medicine, we would go on a walk around the lake. A single loop around the shoreline didn't give us much time to talk, but my attempts to reduce our walking pace or stop to extend our time together was flatly ignored. And she refused to go around more than once, claiming it would disturb her daily rhythm. That said, she never refused an invitation either, so I don't think she particularly disliked me. Yet, anyways. Oh, Robin. What does a robin have to do with your sister? Nothing, I just saw one over there. If you listen, you can hear it singing. They migrate somewhere warmer when it gets cold. They just fly off to someplace more comfortable. If I had wings like a bird, then maybe I'd be free too. There is not a single creature living in this world that is free. Birds regularly get shot down by hunters or preyed on by larger birds. The idea that they are free is nothing more than a man's short-sighted delusion. Sorry, I guess. No, I should be apologizing. I wasn't trying to attack you. I simply lack the ability to properly empathize with others. I do not understand people. So please, if I say anything that upsets you or make you uncomfortable, don't assume that was my intention. Sure. Maybe you're hiding it, or maybe you just don't know it yet, but I think you got more empathy than you're letting on. Surely you can't say nothing affects you at all. You are human. So you don't have to be so closed off. I might not be able to do much for you. But I do want to get to know you better. I want to understand you. So if you ever feel like talking about yourself, just know that you got an eager pair of ears right here. Okay? If there were ever someone who could understand me, who could empathize with me, they would not be human. What do you mean? That you would need to be far removed from any idea of humanity to have a chance of understanding me. Regardless, I do appreciate your kind words. Sure. So, out of curiosity, do you have anyone, really important in your life? Really important to you in your life? Not at the moment. Doesn't mean you used to. Oh no. I'll love to hear about them if you don't mind. They're all long dead. 4 years ago, something unpleasant occurred. And as a result of that, I was forced to part ways with the people who taught me that humans have the capability for kindness. The slaves, right? You really do look like a saint, to be honest. Oh, I'm sorry. Well then, if your sister's condition worsens again, come see me. Farewell. Hey, maybe we could talk a little slower next time so we can have more time to talk. I want to get to know you better. I'll consider it. Does it really require that much thought? So long. Bye, see you soon. Things continue on like that for a while. Nellie bounced back and forth between getting better and getting worse. Emotionally, I followed not too far behind, getting very little in the way of peace of mind. Having to spend so much time worrying over and looking after Nellie, it was starting to wear me out. Even though I knew good and well that she had it much worse than me, I wanted to be done with it all. I wanted to be free. I wanted her to get better as soon as possible, so I could stop agonizing over her. So at some point I started wishing for a miracle. I didn't care if it came from God, an angel, or something less holy. I just wanted someone to cure Nellie and take the weight off my shoulders. And during one of our walks, I let that slip. I'd take anything at this point to make her better. I even take a miracle if I could get one. I assume she would. As she had a tendency to say that people who believe in miracles were delusional. She was, in my mind, very much a realist, which is why her response surprised me so much. Do you sincerely wish for a miracle? What? Do you truly want a miracle, no matter what form it may take? Well, yeah. I've tried everything else. God is all I can ask for someone. God is all I can ask for help anymore. I know what you're going to say. There's no such thing as miracles. If there were, Nellie would already be better. I prayed every single night for her recovery. It was all just a delusion, I know. Miracles do exist. What? If you have faith, and you sincerely wish for her to be healed, you will be granted your miracle. What are you talking about, Morgana? You said many times that you wish to know more about me. Yeah, I have. Well, I grant you that wish. As you listen to my story, you will come to understand why I said you will never be able to empathize with me. And as you do, hope will sprout up within you. Here in my lakeside cottage, I am known as a witch, but I did not used to be called such. No, I am the daughter of God. Yeah, we kinda already knew this story. Most people would dismiss such a claim as madness, and I almost exactly did that exactly. But there was something strangely enchanting about her voice, and I found myself slowly drawn to her tale, listening intently to her every word. The more I heard, the harder it was to believe she was lying. And before long I was convinced she was the daughter of God, a saint whose blood has miraculous powers. Her first cry ended a lengthy drought in the village where she was born, and her blood cured the sick. She rolled up one of her sleeve to show me her arm. Practically every inch of her skin from her shoulders to the tips of her fingers was scarred from where she had been cut. According to her, the scarring had once been far worse, but had improved with the application of ointment. Every single one of those scars, she said, marked a person who had sought her blood. And I believe every word. There was something about her that set her apart from the rest of us normal people, like she was some higher being. They were not self-inflicted wounds, not the mark of someone who had tried to take her own life, but symbols of the greatest sacrifices she had made. She offered to give Nellie her blood, and without a moment's of hesitation, I accepted. Morgana. Mell? Hey Nellie, I'm back. And I brought someone with me, a saint. A saint? Yep, she's here because medicine has been working for you. She can perform miracles, so she's going to cure you. Miracles? That's right, her blood, it has miraculous healing powers. Blood? Fear not, my beloved sister. Hear my words and do as I say. You must have faith for the miracles to be performed correctly. I give you my blessings, and that may bestow unto you salvation. I give you my love, and I give you relief. Hear my words. I hear them. This body was created not in a mortal womb. This flesh is not the flesh of man. This blood is not the blood of man. The water that flows through these holy veins flows from the river of creation. Have mercy on them, O Father. May the infirm find comfort in your warmth. May the destitute find reprieve in your generosity. May my flesh bring nourishment and health onto this girl. Bestow upon her your blessings, O Father. Morgana held a pale hand above Nellie's mouth, and without hesitation sliced her own wrist. Blood slowly trickled down her middle finger from the cut, dripping into the gap between Nellie's blushed lips. I stood there entranced by the scene. It was like I was witnessing some kind of ritual. I wasn't sure, however, whether to describe it as sacred or profane. Watching the fresh blood trickle from the cut on her wrist made me break into a sweat, feeling like I was violating a taboo. My knees rattled and I could barely stay on my feet. Needles pricked my hands, though they slipped through my fingers before they could fully form. I had crossed a line that wasn't meant to be crossed. Had I stepped into territory man was never supposed to enter. In time I stopped processing Morgana's prayers as words. It became nothing but a rhythmic sequence of sound bouncing around my head. My line of sight grew gradually narrower. What? Are you alright? The ceremony is complete. How's Nellie? She is asleep right now, but she should awaken soon. Oh good. My blood has the power to cause miracles, but you must remember that the miracle is predicated on your faith. So are you saying we need to worship you? No, I am merely God's progeny. Your praises and prayers should be directed at my Father, the good Lord, the Lord God. I should get going then. Hey, thank you very much. When Morgana had said I would never be able to understand or empathize with her, she had not been lying. I've only heard her tell of it. I still believed there was room for me to close the gap between us, that we still had enough in common. But seeing it with my own eyes, feeling it with my entire being, I no longer had any illusions of us being on the same plane. As I gave her my thanks, my voice was audibly trembling. Mell, come, get up, there's Mell. Oh, Mell. Nellie? Finally you're awake, sleepyhead. What's with the look? Am I making a funny face? Are you good to be up and about? Yep, I woke up this morning feeling wonderful. I feel my forehead, Mell. See, no fever. It's just a placebo though. It's gone. She actually performed a miracle. I only remember bits and pieces, but I remember a really pretty saint lady showing up and giving me her blood. That's how she remembers it. Her memory is pretty hazy, huh? And then I got this warm, fuzzy feeling inside of me. Then I had this really strange dream. What kind of dream? There was a whole bunch of lights floating all around me, and they were changing into all sorts of different colors. It was the most wonderful dream. That doesn't help me understand anything at all, Nelly. It was a good dream, and that what matters. It must have been the Saint Lady's power at work. Must be, yeah. I'm so relieved that you're feeling better, Nelly. Sorry for all the trouble I caused you. But now everything can go back to normal. Yep. All back to normal. Until she gets sick again. She wants to thank me. Yeah, Nelly is insisting I let her meet you so she can show her gratitude. So if it's alright, would you mind coming to supper sometimes? That would probably not be wise. Oh, why not? It would hardly be pleasant having to eat in the presence of a face as grotesque as mine. And I doubt your sister would react well to the sight of it. I don't think it will cause any problems. Nelly isn't the kind of girl to judge someone by their looks, I don't think. Perhaps not, but to her I'm a saint and not a normal person. In her mind, she thinks I'm beautiful, doesn't she? You must maintain that illusion. It's essential to the miracle that her faith remains unwavering, and on some level that faith depends on her idealized image of me. You think so? Though our time together was brief, I could see it in her. She is a girl with great love of beauty. And perhaps the same could be said of you. I don't judge people by how they look. It's what's inside that matters. I take you for your word. Thanks. So, are you sure you don't want to come? I really shouldn't. I'm terribly sorry. Oh, okay. Why in the world am I feeling relieved? Nelly recovering was a huge weight off my shoulders. Now everything could go back to the way it was. Quiet and unremarkable. I could finally go out and get a real job, forget about my old life like a regular old commoner. That was what I was going to do for the both of us. The problem was, Nelly hadn't actually recovered completely. She was in nearly perfect health the first few days after drinking Morgana's blood. But soon her fever came back. She stopped being able to get out of bed, and to top it all off, she started having lengthy coughing fits. During some of them, she coughed up bits of bloody plagiarism. I nearly had a panic attack. So I rushed down to Morgana's cottage and told her what was happening, to which she responded with a quizzical tilt of her head. Nelly's health meant everything to me. It certainly wasn't the curiosity her head tilt seemed to make it out to be. But it didn't seem to bother her at all. The miracle took place, but it didn't persist. That doesn't make much sense. But it's true, she can't get out of bed. And it's not a problem with her faith. I've been teaching her the word of God every night. And she absolutely believes in you, in her saint. Lower your voice. I'll perform another miracle for her. You do it again. I will not forsake those who are in need. And it's thick this time, right? I cannot promise anything. But why? Your miracles aren't supposed to be temporary, are they? Whether they are or not, it's decided by you and your sister. You're my only hope, though. Please do not worry. If a second blessing is not enough to cure her of her ailment, then I would visit her and give her my blood as many times as necessary. I will gladly give her every last drop of my blood in my body. I assure you, my father does not want to see two young souls like yourself torn apart. And neither do I. We should get going. Alright. For the second time, Morgana had Nelly drink of her blood. And for the second time, she was healthy again the next morning. And for the second time, she felt ill again shortly thereafter. Her fever returned. I went to get Morgana, and she gave Nelly her blood. The cycle repeats again and again. And every time I had to watch her go through that ceremony, it was like it was exhausting. And I wasn't sure I could handle it much longer. I started thinking maybe there wasn't anything sacred about any of this. It wasn't. That it was as blasphemous as it looked from the outside. I was making a girl cut her own wrist and feed my sister her blood. Nothing about that sounded right. But I had nowhere else to go, no one else to ask for help. When I was with Morgana, listening to her words of reassurance, she without fail wipe away all the doubt I had. It wasn't until after she left that the wave of regret hit me. I wasn't sure what was right and wrong anymore. I wasn't sure what to do anymore. Every time I went to see Morgana, it got more and more difficult to look her in the eye. I stopped asking her on walks as often, and I stopped trying to have chats with her. Not so much out of a sense of guilt, but because I was getting to be afraid of her. One of those draining days, someone knocked on the door. I hadn't asked Morgana to come down that day, so I wasn't sure who it could be. Nelly was asleep in her bed, so I quietly rose from my seat and made my way to the door, trying not to wake her. Who is it? Hello, who's there? I had an inkling of suspicion, but having been raised in such a sheltered environment, I didn't understand exactly how dangerous it was to thoughtlessly open the door to anyone who came knocking. Yukimasa, I'm gonna guess. I pulled open the door inward a couple of inches and tried to take a peek through the crack. When, out of nowhere, someone grabbed my shoulder and shot me helpless to resist into the house. A man stood there above me. Yep. What do you think you're doing? What do you want from me? I don't have anything valuable. I'm just a regular old peasant. I'm not here to rob you. What? You're in contact with the witch, are you not? Huh? The girl who lived by the lake calls herself the witch. Witch? I don't know any witch. I'm the only one who lived there. The only one who lived there is a saint. A saint? I was told she was a witch. But regardless, there is a girl who lived there with miracle blood, no. It looks like I got the right person. What do you want from me? I want you to help me. Huh? I need you to lure that witch out into the open. And why would you need that? Because I need her blood. I need to get my hands on the witch's miracle blood. Then go ask her for it yourself. Why should I have helped you? She won't open the door for me. But I've seen you talking to her. You seem to be quite friendly with the witch. Taking low walks around the lake. How? I need your help. And what are you going to do once you have her outside? I have orders from the Lord to take her captive. What? The Lord? Why would he? That's none of your concern. You expect me to buy that? All I need from you is to get the witch out of that house. Why would I? She doesn't trust me. I could always force my way in, but there's a chance something might go wrong and I can't risk that. If she hears your voice, she'll open the door, yes. The witch trusts you, unlike me. With your help, there's no risk of anything going wrong. I know. You barge in there and tell me you barge in here and tell me you want to capture her, and you think I'm just gonna agree to help. Like hell I will. Oh, don't worry. You will get your share. You need a witch blood too, right? I don't care about getting a share. You're asking me to deceive her. I don't care what you think she is. She hasn't done anything wrong, so no, I won't help you capture her. You leave me no choice then. What? Huh? No. He approached the bed where Nellie slept, drawing his sword and pressing the tip against her throat. It happened so quickly and without any warning, my mind couldn't keep up. I stood there, mouth half open like an idiot. If I were courageous, if I were gallant and brave, then maybe I would have grabbed him and pulled him away from Nellie. But my legs seemed to be severed from my mind. They were frozen to the floor like two useless rocks. You have two options. Either you say no and protect the witch, get away, or you help me capture her. Get away from her, right now. And if you choose the witch, I kill the girl. Get away. Make your decision. Get away from her. You have until the count of 10. If you don't choose, I kill the girl. 10, 9, 8, 7. 6, 5. Okay, I'll do it. I help you. So get your sword out of her face. Don't kill her. I thought you hold out until the last second. Well, what are you waiting for? Let's get going. Get moving. Yeah, you pitiful little boy. I felt like jumping into a lake. Well, you're gonna visit a lake. I kinda make sense of how I had ended up in such a position. Just a few months earlier, I have been living back in my family's estate, hardly a worry in the world. Nellie had been healthy and happy. It exciting, no. But I had figured that how was things going to be. One day I would fall for some noble girl, Nelly will get jealous, and I would have to spend several days or even weeks pacifying her. Everyone will be happy, a life free of troubles, because that was normal and I was normal. So what was I doing living in some tiny cottages so far from home? Feeding my sick sister miracle blood. What was I doing walking beside this barbarian? What was I doing at all? I was conflicted. Part of me hoped we would never arrive at the lake. And a part of me wanted to get there as quickly as possible so I could be done with all this. But time plodded on no quicker or slower than normal. And we arrived at Morgana's door in short order, irrespective of my own selfish hopes. The thought of what was going to happen next filled me with a crushing sense of guilt. I may have been afraid of Morgana, but I had no grudge against her. I was actually quite grateful to her. She was still healing Nelly, and even if the ceremony to do so inspired fear in me, she didn't hesitate to cut her own wrists open for Nelly and for me. She didn't grimace or even frown, though I knew it had to hurt. I knew damn well she wasn't a bad person, that she hadn't done anything to warrant being taken into custody. She might very well have been a genuine saint, but there I was selling her out because a man with a sword threatened me. Yeah. Oh, Father who art in heaven, please forgive me for what I'm about to do. Please, please forgive me. Quit sniveling. You wanted to get suspicious, but how? What? I can't. Please, oh God. Stop crying. Would you rather I kill you here? Crying noises. Just close your eyes, it will be over before you know it. Do it. Call on the witch. Who's there? It's me. I'm not here about Nelly today. I'm sorry for being so distant lately. I want to talk things over. I thought I heard a faint gasp through the door, and then she responded. I wanted to talk to you too. Why? Why did she have to want to talk to me now? She had always been so curt, so rational, so quick to cut down my fantasies. Never want to get emotional or sentimental. She had always given off the impression of being something greater than we mere humans. Always been so aloof, never giving any indication she thought anything of me at all. So why? Why did she sound like a normal girl now? Why was her voice trembling slightly when she said she wanted to talk? Why now, of all times? Yep. Yeah, slicing noises. Yeah. Oh, God. This is depressing. Get back, no, stay away from me. Help. Don't kill me. Take it. What? That's your share. Should last you long enough. Yeah. You slice off her hand. Why? Why? Why did you take my arm? I, what act do you mean by share? Wh- Why? Why? Ah. It all happened in less than a minute. I told her I wanted to talk and she opened the door. Then I heard a sound like a window whipping past my ear. And the next thing I knew, her cottage was covered in blood. Never once did I expected anything to happen how it did. When he said he wanted to capture her, I took it to mean exactly that. I hadn't thought he would turn brutal. He would do something so horrific. After the man cut off her arm, Morgana tumbled to the floor, fumbling about as he watched blood trickle down the curved blade of his hand. In his hand. Her screams were indistinguishable from those of a normal person. You cry. You did this. Because you're weak. Because you're Mell. Her arm. Ah. Kneeling in the grass at the lakeshore, I vomited and vomited and I vomited. The things I had seen in the cabin were far too much for me to handle. I wouldn't blame you for that one. I tossed the arm, Morgana's arm, the man had given me into the lake. So her arm is in a lake? What else was I supposed to do with it? It was an arm, a human arm. You have to be insane to go around carrying someone's severed arm. I tried to convince myself it was all a dream, some terrible nightmare, but I couldn't feel the warmth of her skin fresh on my hands. The warmth of her blood on my fingers dragging me back to reality. Oh God. My mind couldn't keep up with the flood of thoughts and emotions and images. I wanted to close my eyes, but I was too afraid I would find a bloodbath in the cottage on the back of my eyelids, which left me with nothing to do but wail. I was horrified for what I had done. I knew that I was the one who had set it all in motion. If I'd kept quiet, Morgana would have had her arm cut off. But I didn't want to admit it. It was my fault. I didn't want to accept that I had caused it. I did nothing wrong. It was not my fault. He threatened me. I mean, I guess that's justification. So it was not my fault. I had no choice. I didn't do anything. I frantically scrubbed my blood-soaked clothes in the lake. As I watched the red cloud spread, I knew I was defiling something pure and beautiful, but my awareness of that fact was slowly dissipating like the blood through the clear water. By the time I got all the blood off my clothes, the sun was beginning to set. I came back to my senses at the sound of a bird chirping and quickly recalled that I had left Nellie alone at home. My legs were shaking, I could barely keep myself upright, but remembering her gave me enough motivation to drag myself back home. If she hadn't been there waiting for me, I seriously must have thrown myself in the lake instead. Mell? What's the matter, dearest Mell? Where have you been? Mell. I'm so sorry. What? I'm so sorry. Would you ever be able to forgive me? Dearest Mell. I never meant for any of this to happen. I'm so sorry, please, I'm begging you for forgive me. I'm begging you. Were you not able to get any medicine? Not able to get my medicine? Is that what you're crying about? Easy. It's not a big a deal, Mell. I'm just fine, honest. I'm alright. Thanks. I wanted to forget everything. I wanted to forget about my involvement, about the horrible things I caused to happen. But whenever I lay down to go to sleep, I heard her screams, Morgana animalistic howls. I saw her cottage, blood splattered everywhere. I felt her severed arm still warm in my hands. From that day on, what sleep I got was hardly restful. Dolly probably didn't notice anything through her feverish haze, but I'm still willing to bet I look like hell. Praying time will cause the memory to fade. I started looking for doctors again. Instead of clinging to a miracle, I would try to have Nellie's sickness cured the way normal people did. At some point, though, all that memory I have been given started to running out low. If I thought about it for 2 seconds, I would have seen it coming. I had exactly been futile with my attempts to find a cure for Nellie, nor had I been especially concerned about money before she fell ill. So I was used to living like an aristocrat. I was so used to living like an aristocrat I hadn't succeeded in breaking those old habits, which left me with only one thing I could do for Nellie, be with her day in and day out. Every day that passed, I lost a little more hope. If I couldn't do anything, and Nellie died, I would be utterly alone. And that was what scared me more than anything. The nightmares were eating away at me, leaving me with no way to run. And if I didn't have someone there with me, I would have been able to hold myself together. After 3 or so days of me sitting by Nellie's bedside, hardly moving, there was a knock on the door. They came back, because you're a witness. Who's there? Who is it? Open the door. Unless you want me to kick it down. My suspicions were correct. I couldn't think of anyone else who would come and visit. But what I didn't know was why he had come back. I don't want anything to do with you anymore. Open the door. Leave me alone, please. I want nothing to do with anything you're doing. Open the door. No, I'm not letting you in for any reason. Okay then, I'll break it down. Don't. My sister inside sleeping. I don't need you waking her up. Then open it. What? What do you need? I did everything you asked me to already. What happened to the witch's arm? I threw it away. You really think I was gonna keep that? A person's arm? Mel, what's going on? Do we have a visitor? Nellie. Should I get him something to drink? Don't worry about it, Nellie. You got some sleep, alright? Can we go outside? I'd really rather not talk in here. Fine by me. So, that's your sister. Explains why you look so much alike. That's none of your damn business. You wanted the miracle blood to cure your sick sister, did you not? And you're telling me you threw the arm away? Are you interested in getting more blood? What? We're taking the witch's blood, turning it into medicine and selling it through the church. Selling it? You're doing business in a house of worship? No, I suppose we're technically giving it away. Or we're acting for I don't know what it is. cities. So, really, it's the same thing. I'm not from this land, so to me, it looks no different than a business. But people there see it as charity. The Lord say, if you assist us, He'll provide you with medicines we're making. The Lord? Why would the Lord be? Hell if I know. Because it seems like good money. So will you help us? You're going to make me get my hands dirty for you again. I can't, not again. Alright, I forgot to mention one detail. You don't have a choice this time. Huh? You know about the miracle blood, which means we can't let you go unattended. If you say no, I have permission from the Lord to kill you on the spot. Why? So will you help us? Well, he has no choice. Will you die here? What was the right thing for me to do then? Should I have fought back and died? Should I have tried to run and die? Should I have taken my own life? I'm sure you heard enough to know by now that I'm a weakling, a pushover. Didn't have the spine to do anything but agree to meet with the Lord. He told me about the mansion, and he gave me a set of tree keys. I wanted so badly to get rid of that key, but with that man's shadow constantly hanging over me, I couldn't bring myself to do it. Not when I could be the next one, ending up losing a limb or two. There was no way I could have disobeyed him. And that's everything that happened 6 months ago. Every day since I arrived here, I brought Morgana breakfast and supper. She doesn't say anything, but I saw it in her eyes for the first time I stepped through that door. How could you do that to me? I never look at her in the eyes since, because I'm too afraid of what I might see in them. And that is how I ended up here. And with that, we are making a save. Yes. His story. Nice. I like that. So, before we wrap up the video, I want to go back and see what's the ending of this one. So, let's load. Yeah, sure. Let's see what this is about. Stay here. We can't leave him alone, not like this. Yeah, we choose Mell over, Nelly. Yeah, why? Why did it have to turn out like this? Mell, calm down. You need to go after her, tell her the truth. Wait, is this a bad ending, or is this just the same ending? Explain to her how you got involved in this. Why? Mell! It's all because you had to go and spill everything. You have to come clean, and you have to do it now. Remember what I said. If you don't act at the Harvest Festival, everything would just fine the way it was. But then you had to show up out of nowhere and ruin everything. Do you honestly think things were fine as they were? Of course they weren't fine, Mell. Be quiet, shut up, damn you. What the hell is your problem anyways? I told you to keep your head down, didn't I? If you hadn't said anything to Nelly, if you weren't here, Mell, please calm down. Mell, you ruined everything. You made a gigantic mess out of my life. Go after Nellie now. If you explain yourself, there is still time to fix things. What do you know? She's just a kid. A little girl who dreamed about being a princess and having me for her prince. You destroyed that dream and there's no fixing it. Mell, it's your fault. With a savage roar, Mell swipes a candlestick off the stand. He rips the candle free, throwing it aside to reveal a metal rod with a sharp tip. Michelle? He's gonna kill us. Oh, this is new. This is all on you. I'll take care of you myself. Yeah. Don't do this, Mell. You better than that. Yeah, and I have swift dodging skills, so you can't stab me. Shut up. You don't know me. You don't know a damn thing about me. You don't know. I do. I know you wouldn't deliberately harm anyone. Is that what you think? I mean, people who are pushed to their edge tend to do things they don't like, so... What I tell you, you don't know me at all. I can. I can too. You bet I can. Put that down, Mell. Everyone thinks I'm completely helpless, that I can't do a single thing for myself. Mell. Well, you know what? I can. It's not like I got anything to lose now. Yep. Drop the candlestick, Mell. Don't do this. There's still time. It's not lost yet. Put the candlestick down, Mell. Good. Oh, wait, he actually put it down. Oh. Mell's trembling from head to toe. I step forward slowly, trying not to aggravate him any further. I reach out and grab the candlestick from his hand. I can feel his shaking through the cold metal. His fingers were not made to grip weapons. His hands were not made to point them at people. Tools meant to cause others harm instead of acting upon him. Let's go. Mell. Tension dissipates from his arms, and grips on the candlestick goes loose. Go find Nellie and tell her the truth. She'll hear you out, I'm certain of it. You never wanted to be involved in this, and she will understand. You're a good man, and she knows it. You misjudged me. What? Me, a good man? If I was such a good person, I wouldn't be holding this thing in the first place. Oh. Michelle. Michelle, yep, is a death scene. What's going on here? My gaze slides downwards. No, please, no. And there I see the candles. I see the candlestick spike. Protruding from my neck. Oh, he got us in the neck. No, don't. You can't. Hang in there. No, please. Why? Michelle. No, Michelle. Blood trickled down the golden bronze staff. As soon as my mind registered this fact, the excruciating pain radiates in hot waves from the wound. I make to say something, but all that comes out is choke gargle. My abilities to speak is completely stripped away. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't actually mean to. I'm so sorry. You're still a coward, good God. Mell frantically apologized. Her grows hazy. And the world twists and contorts around me. I fall on my knees. Michelle! And then the rest of me hits the floor. Michelle, please, be okay. I'm begging you. Giselle. You're still with me, good? We need a doctor. Mell. Listen to me, Mell. You need to get someone. Yeah. Why? Why can't I not get through to him? Because you're not in reality. Why can't I be there? Why do I have to be stuck in here? Please, Michelle, I beg you, hold on. I can't bear to lose you. Michelle, no, please, don't leave me. Giselle, I'm sorry, I failed you. Michelle! Michelle, I'm sorry I couldn't. Michelle, get you out of here. No! This is a dead end. Ending has the same dead end. I thought it was a different ending.